Hi, it's Matt Kendall here once again. Nuno, I'm guessing that's a painting, not your actual window, by the way. Trying to
Yeah,
deceive
on the
me.
back. Yes, it is.
So, whereabouts are you based anyway, Nuno?
I'm in Lisbon, Portugal.
Very nice. So it could actually be your window if it was 12 hours later. So Nuno did the training earlier this year, and
Yes.
this is just another interview with somebody who's been through the training just to get their perspective of what it's like. Again, these are not hype, it's not overselling or anything like that. It's just a real world example of somebody who's done the training. Um, and basically, we're going to ask four questions. Well, I'm going to ask four questions of what his experience was with training beforehand. You know what he knows about therapy and intervention work. How he came across IEMT and why he wanted to come and learn it. Um, what he thought about the course, and then basically how it's been using IEMT with the case studies and his own clients. So good. Well, you are on the same latitude over it, so it's still it's like 10 a.m. here. So I think it's 10 a.m. there. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just the same
Just
schedule.
the same.
Yeah.
Until do you know what? I've got the clocks are changing on Saturday, well, Sunday morning, 2 a.m. So that's halfway through my training just
Mm.
to confuse people because I get people from obviously all over the world, and it's been very hard to explain to people about this time change. So Nuno,
Yeah, fortunately we have the same. Same.
it's such an out of date thing to do. Anyway, um, tell us about yourself in terms of training. I know you've got an NLP background, so just tell us a bit about yourself before IMT. What's been your training, your experience with therapy?
So, hi, Matt. I'm Nuno Pereira, and I'm an integrative hypnotherapist, which means I work with some tools, let's say so.
Hmm.
A variety of tools I have been gathering since the last 10 years, around 10 years. But I just started now doing it professionally.
Okay.
So I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. Then I took some courses on NLP. I'm a trainer in
Hmm.
NLP. Also, systemic constellation, um, a coach, master coach,
Hmm.
and some other stuff like EFT, Havening, and now IMT, which I am very proud of.
Excellent. So you got quite a big background there. So you are a trainer of NLP, an NLP trainer. Can I ask? So you've only been doing it professionally for the last kind of few years. What kind of line of work were you in
Yeah,
before?
because I work in the energy sector.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was employed uh, as a maintenance um, in an energy company, a big one here in
Mm.
Portugal. And because I from very young age I started interested in personal development.
Mm.
I wanted to make a change, and now it was the right time.
Okay, so you've gone from like corporate world, and
Yeah,
then you
from the
sort of jumped
corporate.
into. Did you get introduced to stuff like NLP and stuff like that in the corporate world? Was that your way in?
Uh, Not really. In fact, there was one time someone come to the company to give a presentation,
Yeah.
and it was fine. I already knew the person. It is from the north of Portugal, and but it was just that time, just a conference, so it's
Mm.
not big deal. I already knew. I already was a master NLP.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I often get this when people kind of change their career in like their 40s, 50s kind of thing. It's because they've been in a corporate setting. They've had somebody come in and do a workshop or a presentation around NLP or something like that.
Ah,
And they
okay.
just get so interested in it, they then start to pursue that and then leave their corporate job. So, but
Mhm.
you had an interest in self-development from a young age, you said, like NLP and stuff like that.
Yes, in the corporate world, I noticed more in the last few years. They
Mm.
start uh, having this kind of approach for
Mm.
the seniors,
Yeah.
for the leaders. So I knew NLP much before that.
Yeah, yeah, because I think over here in the UK, NLP very much had like a boom in like the late 90s, really. So we're talking, sort of 25 plus years ago when it was really big. And it's still sort of quite big now, but I think it kind of got developed into business. It had like its business applications. Obviously, it was therapeutic to start off with, and then it kind of got transformed into business late 90s and then through the noughties. Anyway, I could talk about that for ages. So anyway, so you did your NLP training, you're working in corporate, you're working for an engineering company, and you've been working with people professionally for a while now. So how did you hear about IEMT and what made you decide you actually wanted to come and train in it?
Well, it was very interesting because I just saw in a website, a Portuguese website, the curriculum of that person, and while I was browsing that therapist's resume, I caught my eye in this topic of IAMT, which piqued my curiosity because I didn't know what it is.
Hmm.
Uh, then I read something about it, and I realized it was something similar to AMDR, which I already knew about. But I found it more appealing because it was accessible for
Mhm.
anyone
Mhm.
and didn't require a degree in psychology to obtain that certification. So I immediately went to the website, association website. I searched the next online courses and I came across yours training, which I liked because it was just a few days after and it seemed very well structured with many information there,
Mm.
with lots of interviews. I saw some of them, and they were very satisfied with the results. So I I was very enthusiastic about doing it.
Excellent. So yeah, so yeah, well, like this interview, I like to do interviews with people to see their experience. And again, I'm not trying to oversell anything by any means. I just want to get people's realistic experience. So you
Yeah,
saw,
and it really seems natural.
yeah,
It's not the testimonials like we normally see. It was
yeah,
a normal interview,
yeah. It's not
and
like
I
this is
like
the
that.
best thing. It changed everything. No, no, calm down. Um, so you saw it, and then so you saw about IMT on somebody's website. You're researching somebody. Saw it on their biography. You went to the association site. My training was the next one coming up. You then started to look into my content, watch some of the videos. So then you booked yourself on. So, what did you think of the training? Basically, before, during, and after. So, before the materials you get sent, during the actual weekend training itself, and afterwards in terms of the aftercare that you've received from myself. So, take it away. What did you think about the training?
Well, just upon enrolling the course, I immediately receive the manual, videos, the instructions to follow, and which I found very unique. Normally, people don't do that,
Mm,
and the training was very interesting. I start seeing that videos, the manual, and so when I start the training with you, I already knew the content, but there are always some doubts, of
yeah.
course. And so it's a very good method of training, I think. And then in the course, I had an opportunity to experience the effects of one of the techniques right away, which I found very surprising and fantastic because we can feel the change. That's a very experiential thing where people cannot deny her own experiences. And
Hmm.
when you measure the 0 to 10 scale,
Yeah.
if people start with a number and then gives a lower number, well, we don't have doubts that something
Mm.
happened there. So that it's fantastic. And so then I start doing the sessions with the people for the certification. And it was very interesting because all of them got the good results, some more, some less,
Hmm.
but even the ones that didn't change much, they always told at the end that it was a nice technique, that it worked. They felt some change.
Mm.
I had some people with complete change, like a person who has a traumatic experience from an accident when she was 20. And just after the first session, we did two exercises, the simple kinesthetic and the episodic memory with that, around that.
Hmm.
And when she came to the second session, she already tested with her boyfriend in the car, and she didn't react. She didn't felt panic, and she get the she when someone at the front car
Hmm.
stopped the car, if the car where she was didn't slow, she got nervous and she stepped the imaginary brake on the side passengers
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
where she was. And after that session, she was in the passenger seat and the boyfriend didn't slow the car when the other stopped and she got normal, perfectly normal. And then the boyfriend tried to uh, do it again,
Hmm.
and she just reacted the same, normal. So she was very amazed by the results,
Mm.
and the other things also with her worked very well. And someone didn't get so great results. But it was also just two sessions. I think this method could be applied more. And like you said, sometimes four times
Mm.
you do also, right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, with IEMT, unlike EMDR, for example, because EMDR is like an eight-phase system, IEMT is like a set of tools, a set of techniques, and a way of working, and it can be easily combined with different techniques. So if IMT is not working on one particular thing, it might work on something later on, or one of the other techniques can work in a slightly different way. But seeing as you're trained in like, NLP and, all the other kind of stuff as well, it's I think that having that sort of variety and toolkit, you're more likely to get better outcomes for your clients if you know that you've got particular tools that do particular things with quite reliable outcomes. What my experience is that with IEMT, it works with most of the people most of the time. And when you have a lot of experience with doing it, your sort of confidence in it grows as well. And I'm not saying it's your will that you're imparting on the client, but I have a lot of faith in my tools. So I know what will, and you start to work with it really quite intuitively. So you don't have to work in the precise way that I teach on the training. You can begin to work with the problems that are coming up, in the session as well.
Hmm. I had another person which I worked with around the issue of phobia with cockroach, and with her, this method didn't work. but it did work other memories
Mm,
and the emotions she worked on very well. So in
brilliant.
this case of the phobia, I started with the PSAX
Mm,
technique and then the key pattern,
mhm,
but still she ended with a bit of fear.
mm.
So in this case, then I work with an NLP technique and it solved the problem.
Brilliant.
But
Excellent.
in
Yeah.
fact, I cannot say it didn't work because maybe it lowered the fear a bit and then
Mm.
it just needs some more work on that.
And what IEMT can do as well, it's not just a case of lowering a score, a SUD score, it's changing the perception of the thing as well. And
Yeah.
so when you change the thing you're looking at, the thing you're looking at sort of changes. And that's obviously memories and things that we have of the past. And so that's sometimes so basically we tend to get like a generative or a remedial kind of change. So either the change is in a change in the visual and the emotion, or a change of the understanding, like a perceptual shift instead. Sometimes you get both, but you can get sort of one or the other as well. So how have you been using IEMT and how do you plan to use it going forward as well?
Well, now I plan to use it as a tool in my toolbox.
Mm,
So I'll do it together with all the other hypnotherapy stuff. When I see it's more appropriated, I'll just use IMT, which I think it's a very good method. So I will use it a lot more now in the next sessions.
And can I ask, do you use IEMT? Do you use the language in English or have you sort of
Ah, no, no.
translated it?
I'm here in Portugal.
Mm,
I use also always the Portuguese language,
mm.
and but sometimes for the identity process, I like to explain it in English and in Portuguese
Okay. Okay.
because the I, me, self, and you uh, sometimes makes more sense in English.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So I make the parallel between the English version and the Portuguese, so they get well the information, and then I start in Portuguese.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's always interesting to hear when people are using it in different languages and how it kind of translates across. And it sounds like, it's obviously working well and you're getting the results. Can I ask with the training, because you've obviously done a lot of trainings before in NLP and stuff like that. What did you think about the IMT and specifically my training in the way that we went through the material over the weekend? Because I like to do like a four-stage process. So for every module, an introduction, a demonstration, you then go do it yourselves in a training room, and then we come back and talk about it. Then we kind of move on. So what the actual training structure over the weekend, how did you find that going through it?
I found the training very well organized. I like that method of explaining then the demo. I already had some experience with the similar experience with an NLP training,
Hmm.
and it worked very
Mm,
well. So I think it's a very nice method, and you have an extensive experience in this area and you communicate it very very precisely. I remember you always say just follow the process, the
yeah.
exact words, and it has that importance to
Mm,
follow the words because the wording in NLP we know it's important. So
yeah, and I think
and
that's
see and seeing some other classes with Andrew, uh, it really makes it important to don't try to adapt to other kind of wording
mm,
because it has a meaning to do that way.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. The words we use for a reason. And often when, especially when newer people are doing IMT, they over talk and they over explain, and it gets the client to stop thinking about the thing they need to think about, and they're now
Mhm.
listening to you and thinking about so kind of thing. And what have you thought about the IEMT course aftercare and the community as a whole?
Wow, that it's unparalleled. I don't know any other course which give that much. We have access to this WhatsApp group, which
Hmm.
is very fast in response.
Yeah, yeah.
You are always ready to answer all of our questions. People are very enthusiastic about it. It's not a dead group.
Mm.
It's a very alive. And then you have the weekly Q&A sessions,
Hmm.
which are very useful also. I have used it almost every week to clarify some questions I have, and also your classes. I think that you'll do next one Monday, right?
Next Monday, yeah. So if people are wondering, so basically when you go through the course, there's a WhatsApp group for people who've just been through the course. There's about 150 people in there now. Not everybody joins it, but most people do. And you can ask questions and you'll get my answers. You'll also get other people's answers as well who are using IEMT. There's the Facebook group, my Facebook group, 1,500 people, which is very active as well. Andy also does quite a lot of CPD, and once you're part of the association, there's loads of stuff going on at the moment, like refresher parts of the course. And then I do a monthly coaching session with my peeps as well, with the people who go through the course. And that's every month, and it's usually the last Tuesday. I've changed it because I don't know what I'm doing, but so it's next Monday. And basically, we kind of do a deep dive on a particular part of the course, and I'll do lots of demonstrations. I sometimes do full sessions in there as well. So,
Hmm.
so I
I
make that
did
available.
I did the I think it was the last one, the phobia.
Yeah, oh yeah, with
It was
the spider
very
phobia.
useful. It was very
Yeah,
useful. I found it very interesting.
I think she's
And
gone to after that. She booked a holiday to Cuba.
uh,
So she's gone because one of the things, and we talk about this with this, is how limiting it is. People think fears and phobias are often a bit silly and a bit funny, and people kind of make fun of them and kind of stuff like that. But it has a genuine impact on your life. And
yeah,
so the session which I did, that she had a really quite bad fear of spiders. She couldn't even say the word spiders. She couldn't have me say the word spiders. I had to call it sugar cubes, so she didn't get freaked out by it. And by the end, she was literally looking at a picture of a spider,
yes, I
and
remember.
yeah, which and again, it's like you were saying with that client of yours who was in the car when her boyfriend wasn't slowing down properly. It's not a feeling, or it's not a feeling you attain and have. It's the absence of the fear and it's the absence of the feeling. And so you can assess something for what it is on the information you have that's present and not your associations to the past. So yeah, and yeah, and so with the aftercare, like I say, I not
Oh, and then just let me say also this: the association is fantastic. Also,
yeah.
we have lots of information available
Hmm.
there, and Andrew is always making some new classes also.
Yeah,
So it's unique.
yeah, good. And the thing is, that's what my experience going through different trainings was, that I thought some of the demos were a bit far-fetched, and I think that I'm not saying they use stooges and stuff, but I think some people were a bit over enthusiastic, should we say, in doing demos, and I didn't really like that. I like it when somebody comes to the course kind of skeptical. And I'm not trying to win them over. I'm going to show them the stuff. They're going to experience the stuff. They're an adult. They can make up their own decisions. But I generally find those who come into it a little bit skeptical, thinking this just sounds a little bit a little bit magical, a little bit nonsense. And then they'll see that I'm not woo-woo at all. I'm very much sort of straight down the line. And they're like, oh, this actually makes a real change. This is actually something which I can now use with my clients and without it being like a mystical, because obviously I come from the hypnosis background, and that is still quite a mystical approach towards a lot of things. And
Hmm. Yes, and
uh,
I liked your approach with that great openness and honesty, because you are not here to prove anything,
no,
that EIMT is the best thing people can have,
no,
just an experiencing. So,
it is, and I think that obviously I really, really like IEMT, but it's not the be all and end all. It's a very good set of tools and techniques and a framework, obviously with the patterns of chronicity and the three pillars and everything like that brought into the model. It's a great set of tools for a clinician to use and to rely on to
yeah.
get, in my opinion, quite reliable results. Where, when I used to do hypnosis, I was never sure, because sometimes you get clients who don't actually want to be hypnotized. They want to get the results of hypnosis, but they don't actually want to be hypnotized. They don't like the idea of hypnosis in itself. And so what I tend to do is after I've done the client work, I will make them a hypnosis download regarding what we did in the session to help cement in the work that we've actually done in between sessions, and that works really well, really well.
Mm.
And the other thing I didn't like about the trainings, apart from the demos, was the lack of aftercare and support. And I often felt like if I had a question, I was kind of bothering them. And they sometimes took quite a long time to get back to me, and they'd just send me a stock answer and stuff like that. I didn't really appreciate that kind of response. So what I do is I do a live Q&A for usually 30, 40 minutes every Tuesday morning in the Facebook group, we can access free of charge actually. And I take all the questions I get throughout the week, and I encourage people to ask questions. And so I'll answer them briefly during the week, but then during the actual Q&A, I'll do a deep dive on and give a very long form explanation. Plus, you'll get all the answers from Andy, often answers, Sonia's often answers. Lots of people will tend to give their answers as well. So it's not like there's only one way of kind of doing something. And there's a lot of very experienced people in my group, in terms of science background and psychology background and working in the NHS and mental health and everything. So you'll get to see how people have been using it with sort of ADHD, bipolar, all these different, which I have no experience in. And I often found in some kind of communities where the person doing the training is seen as like the guru, and they like to keep everything quite separated, and that you can't have outside influence. And with IMT, we're very much like, come and research it. We want you to do the research on it. We want you to get involved in it. So I do find it is a very good kind of community because everybody's wanting more people to use IEMT.
Yeah, that's a great community. I also found that.
So, what going forward, what kind of clients do you tend to work with? And what's your place on the internet if people want to look you up or maybe come and work with you?
Well, I work more in the fear niche.
Okay.
So, so these phobia cases and traumatic events,
Mm.
that's what I get almost every time.
Okay, cool. Cool. No, I like that. I like doing stuff like that as well.
And for that, I think IMT will be a good tool to join in my toolbox.
Absolutely. So, if people want to look you up, what's the best way to find you? Do you have a website or social media? What's the best
Yeah,
way?
I have a website, nunopereira.pt. I'm in the social media also. I can send you the
Cool.
links
Yeah,
if
I'll
you
put the
want.
links up as well.
It's better.
Anything before we finish? Anything else to say about IMT or your experience or
I just
anything?
want to thank you a lot. I highly recommend IMT training with you, especially because I don't
Thank you.
know the others,
Yeah.
but I found it very, very, very well organized. So I recommend your training to any therapist or coach looking to enhance their skills with an exceptional and rapid tool for personal transformation. That's what I can say it.
Oh, well, cool. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on getting your certification. It was about a month or so ago now, wasn't it? You actually did it. So, well done, and it's been great catching up with you. And I will speak to you soon.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Bye.